On April 15th, 1967, was at the front of the march speaking at UN Plaza, "Bring our troops home from Vietnam." And that was a speech that, like his sermon at Riverside Church just a week and a half before, earned him great hostility from those who saw only narrowly and only saw the expediency quotient and not what was right. Because with great turmoil, with a president in the White House who had, in concert with the Civil Rights Movement, done so much, as we just heard, in terms of the Voting Rights Act, before that the Civil Rights Act, the Office of Economic Opportunity, Medicare, this great domestic president, Lyndon Johnson, had escalated the war in Vietnam, and Dr. King, with conscience, spoke out, with great abuse as a result. And I think it's so important to remind ourselves that Dr. King was in Memphis on behalf of the sanitation workers. The least of us who were being abused, whose rights to organize and have a decent income were being trampled on every day. And that was 1968, and in 2012. In this county, in this state, in this country, there are millions and millions of people who continue to suffer from racism, from hostility to the poor, from exploitation. They're told to work at minimum wage, which is barely and often not a living wage at all. And I think about hope, and we've got to have hope to fight for our futures and the futures of the next generation. One of the most precious memories to me was when my dad took me to Resurrection City. Dr. King was dead. It was early summer of 1968, and just a few miles from the Capitol, even less, the remnants of the Poor People's Campaign. And we today still have, by any other name, the necessity and the reality of poor people's campaigns and near poor people's campaigns with thousands and thousands of organizations. What I saw that day was people who kept the hope alive. In the mud, in the rain, at the tents of Resurrection City. And I think and I won't talk on and on, but I just want to say that here we are in 2012 with all of the issues that Dr. King addressed still with us. When he talked about the phenomenon of what he called guided missiles and misguided men. Here we are. We got the great technology, but the use of the technology is a moral question, it's a political question, and the questions are so often from on high being answered wrong. Dr. King said that a nation that year after year continued to spend more on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. He had it right then, and he has it right now. And as it was reminded for me when I went to Baghdad 3 times before the war, congressmen and other people trying to interrupt, be the interrupters for the war train. Dr. King talked about what he called the madness of militarism. He had it right in 67 and 68. He has it right now. When you look at the fact that when I went to Afghanistan a couple of years ago on a peace mission, and I saw U.S. soldiers in the streets of Kabul, each one of them cost the U.S. government $1 million. One soldier, $1 million a year. Can you imagine? Bring one more soldier home. Let's go to City Hall in Eureka. Bring a rebate check for $1 million. You think it would be useful? Well, this is part of our quest and our future. And what we make of it will be so profound for the generations yet to come. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity and the honor to speak with you today. And I look forward to working with you and on to a brighter day. Thank you so much.
Dr. King once said, "A right delayed is a right denied."